Right. I mean, we are clearly superior.
I mean, clearly.
He is a man who enjoys the simple pleasures in life. Fucking, fighting, feeding. It's what I like about him the most. That and his...
We cut that off real quick. This imagination of mine is quite unique. The options. Hello everybody, I'm Degenerate, and welcome back to First Bite. Today, we're gonna be doing exactly who I said we were gonna do last time. We finished Elias, we're gonna do Valeria. Let's begin. We're just gonna start like right from the beginning of her route. So, yeah, this is literally the beginning. If I go back, it does that. Part 3, Valeria, Ultra Violence. Nice. Oh my gosh, my eyeball. She leads me into her room with our fingers entwined, laced together like lovers. Yeah. Yeah. It's strangely intimate, maybe too intimate for almost strangers, but then I remember that it's not like this evening could possibly get any weirder. I will hold hands with the crazy hot vampire, and I will not overthink it. It's easy to figure out how cold her skin is when her eyes are trained upon me in the way that they are right now. Like if I make even one wrong move, she'll snap me in two. Oh crap, I'm just not realizing the paintings. I might have to like censor it? I don't know if it's allowed. That thought alone is enough to thaw the chill. Snapping can be sexy. Sometimes.
Well, here you have it. Where the magic happens.
I'm actually very excited. I can't wait. I laugh sharp and quick as she frowns, her brow quirked, and I quickly realized that maybe that wasn't a Cribs reference, and she was just saying that sincerely. Shame. She strikes me as the type to enjoy mocking celebrities for their bad taste in furnishings. Maybe if she decides not to rip my throat out, I can enlighten her with the joys of reality television. Doesn't she already know? Don't they already know what that is? She releases me and I take in my surroundings, observing the little personal touches strewn around the room, hoping I can gather some insight into the kind of vampire that she is. There's a book somewhere? Oh, it is. There is. I had to look a little closer. There are also handcuffs. Ask about the handcuffs? I want to. I don't know. I want to get this right. Let's ask about the book, because, you know, I guess if we're too, like, what is it? If we're too sexual, might be a turn off. Let's do that one. Is that a copy of Bram Stoker's Dracula on your nightstand? It is, yes. A wonderful little story. Did you know that I'm into it? Oh. Did you know that I'm in it? She is? Coolio. What? Surprising. She preens, staring down at her blunt nails. I think she's trying her hardest to look indifferent, but her smug face is giving her away horribly.
Yes. Rami Bear was such a wonderful house guest. Very polite.
I bet. Did you eat him? Rami Bear stayed with Dracula at his castle. You're right. Dracula.
Darling, did you really think that human just plucked all of that out of thin air? Don't be silly now.
That's what writers do. What? Does that mean Frankenstein's monster is real? The Wolfman? Van Helsing?
Ugh!
Valeria makes a noise of pure disgust when I mention Mr. Helsing.
We don't say his name in this household.
Noted. Noted. She takes an angry little step forward and prods her pointer finger into my shoulder.
Frankie was a terrible conversationalist, and the Wolfman was a shitty movie. Also, you're really asking me about those morons when I'm standing right here. I've literally had Dracula inside me.
I didn't need to know all that, but let's continue. Okay, but the Van Helsing? Apologize, please, just apologize. I don't know why I would mention him after she tells us that they don't speak of him. Kind of a stupid decision, no? Stupid. My self-preservation senses start tingling quite aggressively. Clearly, this is not a subject I should be pushing if I want that sweet, sweet immortality. I'm sorry, you're right. He sucks. Who has the audacity to make a living out of killing vampires? Oh. I honestly didn't know who it was, but now I do. I just had to get my memory jogged, I know. Valeria seems to relax a little. The look on her face now one of indigenous rather than pure unfettered murder rage.
Right. I mean, we are clearly superior.
I mean, clearly. I nod enthusiastically and pray I've placated her. Yeah. Ask about Nasty Dennis? Ask about the handcuffs. I want to. But, as I recall, in the other parts before this, I really like this cat, so... I spot a copy of a delightful portrait of the terrifying, elusive Nasty Dennis, sitting pride of place on her dresser. You must really love Dennis.
That's Nasty Dennis to you, human. Show some respect.
I love their love for this cat.
And love is such a strong word. He's a bastard and a devil, and he has ruined so many of my beautiful clothes that I've lost count.
But he's my bastard. I'd love to meet him one day. She narrowed her eyes at me, like she's trying to decide if I'm worthy.
You do not meet Nasty Dennis. Nasty Dennis meets you.
Nice. Wow, that's super ominous. Like, okay, this is just like with Elias. I got it. Before I can think to control whether my gaze lands, I'm immediately drawn to the shiny gold object upon her bedside table. Handcuffs, fancy ones. Those are nice. Valeria follows my line of sight and grins. Oh, you like those? I mean, gee.
If you're a good little kitten, maybe I'll let you play with them.
Really?
Would you like that?
I mean, why the f not? Why not? Like, ugh. Yes. I'm not interested in sex. What the fuck? Obviously the first one. That was stupid. I once again cannot control the expression that crosses my face. If I could put a name to it, I would say unadulterated horniness. Oh, yes, I would. Valeria bites her bottom lip, her head tilted slightly. Yeah. An eager little beaver. I can work with that. Good. With a sigh, she comes closer, grabbing my hand again. Come on now, don't be shy. Take a seat and make yourself comfortable. I am very comfortable. I'm snug as a bug in a rug. Valeria smiles and guides me over to the plush bed, our joined hands held high between us, as if she's about to spin me into a... What? Puree? 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 I don't know. French, you know? With very little effort, she shoves at my shoulder, and I land upon the mattress with a quiet oof. She leans in close and breathes me in. Her finger... What is happening? Her fingertips bunching in the fort of my shirt. Her breath is cool, and her lips graze the shell of my ear. Her voice low and teasing.
Your heart is so very loud, like wings beating against a cage. Are you scared, little bird?
No. Not of you. Should I be? I'm terrified. Should I be? I swallow my wet. Oh, I thought it said I swallow my lips. I'm like, what? I swallow and wet my lips, trying to compose myself and at least attempt to form a coherent sentence. Should I be? Valeria chuckles, and it's a decidedly wicked noise. My skin prickles, hair standing on end.
That depends on just how much you're looking forward to dying tonight.
I'm very much looking forward to it. I can't help the laugh that escapes me. The nervous little sound would almost be embarrassing if I had the ability to focus on anything other than Valeria right now. She raises one of those perfect brows at me, her lips curling at the corners as she zeroes in and advances on her prey. That wasn't an answer, sweet thing. I mean... I responded. You should be grateful. The mattress dips as she presses a knee upon it, right between my thighs. Nudging them apart. The long cold fingers that still rest upon my chest curl tightly in the fabric of my shirt as she follows me down. Oh my gosh. Her full mouth a mere inch away from my own as she tilts her head in question. Do whatever you want with me. She's definitely gonna kill me if I say that. There's no way. I want to be like you. I want the freedom and the fun you have. I want to be reborn, to be like you.
Yes, you said that already. It's the sole reason why you're still alive and not a pretty corpse on the living room floor.
Pretty? My chest flutters when she calls me pretty. She pulls away, but her grip on me remains firm. I don't think she's scared. I might try to get away. She knows I'm not stupid enough to think I could succeed. She clearly gets a kick out of asserting her dominance. I'm not mad about it.
But the problem is, if I turn you, I have to suffer your presence for eternity.
I mean, is that so bad? Tell me, why would I want that? What makes you worthy? Valeria pulls back until she's far away enough for me to get a proper look at her. All of her. Yeah. Soak it in like a sponge. I let my eyes roam her form. From her shiny raven hair to the way that dress clings to every dangerous inch of her body. I feel my cheeks heating, and I idly wonder if spontaneous human combustion really is just a myth.
Ugh.
Valeria tuts loudly and flicks me on the forehead before she grabs my chin, yanking my head up so I have no choice but to make eye contact. Stop. I was just, just checking something really quick. I was almost done. My face is up here, pervert. But you're the one with these weird posters on your wall. Her words are sharp as she's smirking and looking entirely too pleased with herself. She clearly enjoys being admired. That I can work with. Another note. I can't help it, you're beautiful.
I'm aware. Now cut the shit and tell me why I shouldn't drain you dry and bury you underneath the hydrangeas.
That's how you say that word. Because why not? Death. I never wanted anything more. That's basically the same as this one. I'll be loyal to you. I'll do anything for you, my love. She maintains her composure, her face the picture of neutrality. And yet, I see something flicker in her crimson eyes. Is that a hint of desire, maybe? I feel like I know enough about Valeria by now to understand that she likes to be catered to. She wants to be adored and obeyed, and I know I can earnestly offer her that. I think I want to adore her, to obey her.
Oh, well, I appreciate the sentiment. I'm not looking for a kitten who clings desperately to my ankles.
Fine. I don't. I mean, I'll be a good partner to you. I'm not the smothering type. Promise. She contemplates me for a second. Loyalty must be earned, right? She releases me slowly, my cheeks aching from where she held me so tightly. She steps away from the bed and leans against her dresser. I sit up quickly, gathering what's left of my wits, and at least try to be cool. This new distance between us tells me she's giving me a chance. Maybe an interview of sorts? For like, what, the 4th time? I'm great at interviews. Wrong. So after your little interrogation of us out there, you might want to learn more about me. She stares at her nails, trying to seem uninterested. Something I'm coming to learn she's actually pretty shit at. It's weirdly endearing. You can ask me whatever you like, I suppose. If Valeria likes to talk, I can go for hours. Tell me about how you met Laurel and Elias. You seem like an interesting group. She's calm.
Oh, you mean horribly mismatched and frankly fucking bizarre. I agree, but it works.
She takes a deep breath and gets that look again. The one she had in the lounge where she launched into one of her stories. I never did get to hear her finish her Saint Tale.
For Illy, I was living in London in 1901, just minding my own business. You know, being only mildly nefarious, but keeping a low profile.
I know when she looks at me like she's trying to check that I'm following. As you do.
I would feed just enough to keep myself sated. I didn't want to overindulge in a city I didn't know. Our kind rule Romania. But London is different. More controlled.
The British are like that. She crinkles her nose in disgust briefly before waving it off. I pointedly ignore her. Very obvious, very British accent.
I was still mourning the loss of my life and my station back home. But I made sure that I took enough money from my husband to keep me comfortable for decades. I wasn't about to give up the luxuries I'd become so accustomed to.
Wait a minute. Who was her husband? Jeez, decades?
Then I heard about the murders that had started to plague the city. They were horribly messy, throats ripped out, limbs and organs missing. Certainly not the work of a pathetic human. I was enamored immediately upon viewing one of the crime scenes. I knew it wasn't purposeful, that whoever had done it was simply a feral fucking animal, but to me, it was art.
I guess. Not to him, though.
The Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood didn't have shit on him.
Whatever that is. She smiles, unabashedly fond in a way someone might be if they were talking about their significant other buying them a diamond ring.
Only a specific kind of monster could make such a beautiful mess.
Right. I shift uncomfortably and Valeria notices. She narrows her eyes at me, then smirks, terrifying, if not mildly alluring. What is wrong with me?
Well, I found him eventually. He made it easy for me, of course. He was a disaster waiting to happen. The kind of gorgeous idiot that would get our kind called from the city by the hunters if he carried on. When I laid eyes upon him, I knew I had to have him. The moment he curled his fingers around my throat, I think I fell in love.
These guys are different. I like it though. Duh. She sighs dreamingly, once again looking besotted. Oh my gosh. Like she's recounting a fairy tale rather than whether the hell kind of horror story this is.
I told him I would help him and teach him how to live like a vampire is expected to. I didn't think he'd be interested, but it didn't take long to convince him.
Let me guess. How exactly did you convince him? With the poon. Her tongue flicks out to wet her plump bottom lip. It's easy to notice how dark her eyes get, even with the distance between us.
I showed him what he could have, if he listened to me like a good boy.
I want to be a good boy. Me. I stare at her blankly and she helps, flicking me on the forehead. How am I not getting it? I want to be a good boy too. Ow. I'm not reading that. We all got it. But if you want to read it here, there it is. Ah, of course. I feel my cheeks heating. Figures he'd be easily subdued with that.
He is a man who enjoys the simple pleasures in life. Fucking, fighting, feeding. It's what I like about him the most. That and his...
We cut that off real quick. An involuntary squeak leaves my mouth. Valeria looks at me like she's contemplating foregoing story time to skip straight to murder me.
I was going to say big personality. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Stop lying, Valeria. I know what you were gonna say. I mean, I had my fun earlier. So, yeah. I simply do not believe you. She purses her lips, clearly trying to stifle a smile. And Laurel, when did they come into the picture? I can't wait to hear this one.
Laurel happened a little later. Illy and I had stayed in London for a few decades and we grew tired of it.
Even as it was changing. That's amazing. He's a restless thing, and I was getting bored of cleaning up the bodies he flooded the city with. I proposed that we travel a little, see the world. It's hard for our kind, but especially so back then. Curls her lip in disgust, as if she's remembering a particularly unpleasant memory.
We'd traveled by boat, all cooped up in wooden crates like animals when the sun was out. Though we did have fun come nightfall. Oh, sailors are very tasty, you know. Salty. Plus, it was terribly convenient to get rid of bodies when you're crossing the ocean. Just plop, right into the sea. Bye-bye.
Okay. I feel a bit sadistic when I laugh, but somehow she makes even dumping dead bodies sound charming. That's convenient for sure. Nails her eyes at me, and I feel dumb for forgetting the murderous vampire does not like to be interrupted.
We drifted around America for a while. Found ourselves in New Orleans. I hadn't seen a place with so many of our kind since I left Romania. It was wonderful. But then that big, brainless meat monster couldn't keep his fangs in his fucking mouth.
They're so funny. Come on, let's get romantical. She sighs wistfully again, her gentle tone not quite matching her biting words.
We caused chaos. The streets ran red with the blood of our victims. It was pure bliss. And then shit got weird.
I can't wait to hear Laurel's side of this. Excitement. Weird like how?
Like Laurel weird.
I need to get to them. I really do. But Valeria, you know I had to go to you, baby girl.
Illy and I started feeling strange, like something was whispering in our ear and telling us to do and feel illicit things.
More illicit than murdering hundreds of people.
Firstly, thousands of people. Fuck you very much.
My gosh. This again. No judging. She looks at to the side as if she's actually thoughtfully contemplating her response. Incredible.
Illicit by your feeble human definition? Yes, I suppose. But I'd been living life of my own volition for long enough that I'd forgotten what it felt like to be controlled.
Controlled? He bites her bottom lip and hums in agreement. Laurel is gifted like I am, but in a very different way. I can manipulate the mind and make you see things that aren't real, but Laurel, he can manipulate emotions, really worm his way into your brain. They mess around in there until you don't know which way is up. Coolio! I never felt anything quite like it. Elias and I were so overwhelmed with pleasure one night that we did things right there in the square in front of the humans. And how? You know what? Nope. In hindsight, we should have charged. Oh my gosh. It was quite the show. That wasn't illegal then? Oh my god. Her laugh is smug and dirty.
Unbeknownst to us, Laurel was watching, and I think he decided that we'd been taught our lesson for messing up their pretty little home. No one, mortal or immortal, is immune to me.
Okay. I swallow loudly. Can't exactly disagree.
They came out of hiding to introduce themselves, and the rest is history. And here we are, centuries later, living in a 3-bed in Portland with a leaky attic. It's not exactly the life I pictured for us, but it's ours. The world changed in ways we couldn't have anticipated. It's harder for us now, despite humanity being more akin to cattle these days.
I can't disagree with that.
But the point is that they and I fit together beautifully, especially when it comes to Laurel and I terrorizing Illy, the poor thing. They've taught me so much when I thought I knew it all.
He points at me, threateningly.
Tell him that, and you're dead, though.
Got it. Secret safe with me. Noted. But that's kind of romantic. A vampire love story for the ages. It's novel-worthy. Her glare is cutting. You say so. That was amazing. Are you serious? I'd read it. I do, as a writer nonetheless. She really is bad at hiding her feelings.
So, did that satisfy you? Any more questions about my sordid escapades?
Let's see. Ask about her abilities, ask about vampire bonds. What's it like living in the modern world? What did she say she could do again? She controls emotions, right? Let me see. You said something about having an ability, like magic powers?
Magic powers? I'm not a bloody wizard, but I suppose you could define it as a power. It's nothing just any of us can learn, but something deeply ingrained in certain select individuals. Some of us don't have anything special beyond the usual vampire bullshit. Speed, strength, being smoking hot and exceptionally good in bed, etc., etc. But then there are special cases, like Laurel and I, who have precious gifts.
Not Elias. He presses her lip, contemplating my question.
Ilyas is special in the sense that he has a terrifying, unquenchable thirst and flies into a blood rage if he gets even remotely excited about the prospect of murder.
I know it. His senses are impeccable too. As you discovered, he can sniff out prey with startling ease. I've never seen him fail a kill. He sighs dreamingly.
An impressive beast indeed.
I tried to focus too hard on blood rage and force a smile. We haven't quite been able to figure out if he's just like that or if it's an ability. He says he quite enjoyed killing people before he was turned though, so I guess they could have carried over. Just another of life's many beautiful mysteries, I suppose. Yeah, much to think about.
Anyway, enough about that brute. It's Valeria time.
It's always been. She flicks her hair over her shoulder dramatically. I have one the human call whatever that is. Consider my interest highly piqued.
A handy little trick indeed, especially when needing to subdue my prey.
She grins, fixing me with a pointed stare. There are many factors to such a power. That word, sedation. My favorite is what Illy so eloquently calls my mindfuckery. Mindfuckery? She takes a step closer, twirling a strand of her hair around her fingertip. It's anything but coy. I can show you if you like. I mean... Closer again, her fingers coming up to curl underneath my chin. She tips my head back slightly.
I'll be gentle. I have no interest in breaking you. Yet.
Despite every single one of my instincts telling me I should probably at least try to have a little interest in self-preservation, the cool touch of her skin against mine is alluring. What do you mean by show you exactly? She shrugs, dropping her hand, but I remain frozen in the position she placed me in. Chin tilted in almost submission, she wiggles her fingers like spider legs. Oh, you know, I just dip into your consciousness and show you some pretty pictures.
Unless it isn't a pretty picture you're interested in, of course. I can conjure up anything you desire. Pain, pleasure, fear, a trip to the beach. Just pick your poison.
Whoa. Show me something spoopy. Show me something sexy. The beach sounds good. I'd rather not. Huh. I mean, this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity. Can we just take it? Yes. I swallow loudly and fix her with my best bedroom eyes. Give me the sexy shit. Just snorts.
Ah, typical. Just like Laurel and Illy. But
Good.
Lucky for you, this happens to be my strongest area. Close your eyes, kitten.
Look, I'm being compared to Laurel and Illy, and that she loves them. So we're on a good streak here so far. I listen and close them tight, and the effect is instantaneous. I'm on a bed. The sheets are blood red and impossibly soft against my bare skin. I can feel hands upon me, but I can't see them. That's so amazing. Their touch dripping carefully over my hips, waist, ribs. They press firmly, kneading at me before turning soft and gentle. Fingers tracing the cut of my clavicles and up over my throat. I can't tell how many of them there are, but I feel overwhelmed. The best kind of overwhelmed. Yeah, this sounds nice. Like my brain is about to explode and a galaxy is going to burst to life behind my eyelids. Overwhelmed. There's a quiet whisper in my ear, a voice that feels familiar, but I can't quite place. Maybe it's Valeria, or Laurel, or Elias. Either way, the voice says things that cause heat to bloom across my cheeks and the tip of my ears. Everything burning hot. This is I'm about to break as I'm dangling off the precipice? Yeah. I'm being back into my heart's reality. No. Wait, it isn't all that bad. Valeria's here after all. Valeria, who is looking at me like she wants to eat me whole.
You're so receptive, kitten. That's good to know.
My skin feels all hot and sticky. My palms clammy. That was fun. A lot of fun. You're very talented. I know. Ask about her vampire bonds. Might as well. So how exactly does it work with the three of you? I know you said that humans get your kind wrong. But do you have mates? Or are you just the same as us? She laughs, a quick, sharp bark.
Oh, same as us. That's cute. We might be soulless and our hearts may not beat. We are still capable of love. Even if that love is different from how a human might experience it.
What is this feeling that they're talking about? She pauses and purses her lips, her gaze lifting to the ceiling. I suspect she's trying to find the right words to explain so that my tiny human brain understands.
Our ability to love and care for each other is vast, despite all of our darker aspects. A lot of us are nomadic because we have to be. So finding partners who you tolerate enough to spend centuries with isn't something that comes easily.
I snort at the tolerate part, and Valeria bristles, but she's smirking.
Yes, tolerate. Believe it or not, we are actually quite fond of each other.
That's nice. I can tell. I just wonder what it's like to be wanted like that. Right? She observes me with a tilted head, her eyes unnervingly bright in the dim. She's sizing me up again, but it feels decidedly less murderous this time.
Vampires are driven by their instincts. We feed and fuck and fight, and there's little room for much else. Fucking and fighting. Just different verbs with similar structures.
I nod furiously.
But then when you do find more, well, you cling to it.
She waves her hand dismissively and makes a derisive noise.
Oh, it's all very complicated. I doubt your tiny human brain could handle it, honestly.
Right. I snort again. Maybe she read my mind. I'd kind of like to understand. Maybe, if you'll let me. Valeria sighs deeply and takes my chin in her hand. I think it might be a habit of hers.
You ask a lot of me, little bird.
Am I wrong for doing so? Please don't kill me. Oh. I mean, we could have asked this anyways. We could have asked everything anyway. I think about her leaky attic comment, all of the weird, wonderful, and frankly terrifying adventures that she's been on, and can't help but wonder, how the hell did you end up here in Portland? She looks a little taken aback at first, but her expression quickly softens into something akin to understanding. Well, like I said, things didn't exactly work out the way that I planned. The way any of us planned, I suppose.
It's precarious being a vampire in this day and age. The court dictates that we have to adhere to their silly, archaic rules and lay low. Otherwise, we'll be eliminated.
She punctuates the end of her sentence with some pretty sarcastic air quotes. The court, as in a vampire court. Valeria doesn't exactly seem pleased with my interest in this particular subject. Clearly, it's a sore one.
Yes, a vampire court. Don't get too horny over the idea. It's far less glamorous than it sounds. They're the bane of our fucking existence, I'll have you know. Bureaucracy is soul crushing, regardless of if you actually have a soul.
I can feel the annoyance rolling off her in waves. And I'm not sure if I have the guts to poke her about it and witness another of her brain-shaking tantrums, with my eyes twitching at the prospect of there being a whole entire vampire court in my hometown. They can't even travel? Like, what? Like, they have to be here all the time. That's what the court tells them to do. Boring. Boring. Clearly, I'm doing a bad job at hiding it because she's narrowing her eyes at me. What is wrong with you? She scoffs loudly, her teeth bared. I've been caught. I'm not. Like, it was the only thing I could ask. You are horny over it, aren't you? I offer her a sympathetic grin. I'm just trying to wrap my head around the fact that you've been here. That you have been here. That you have been here, existing among us this whole time. You can cut me some slack there, alright?
You spent too much time on the internet, kitten.
Alright.
I can assure you, it isn't anything like you've seen in your little movies or your silly books. It's sterile and boring. They exist solely to make our lives hell and keep us in line.
Yeah. Which we don't take kindly to, as I'm sure you can guess. Keep you in line? How? You're so strong and powerful. And stubborn, I want to say, but I quite like my head being attached to my body.
Oh, sweet of you. But despite how incredibly powerful the three of us are, There are, unfortunately, far older, far scarier vampires than us out in the big bad world.
Hmm. I'm sure you you know better than anyone that you can't get away with much without it ending up on a twatter these days. I said what I said. Can you imagine one of us getting caught feeding, killing? That shit would go viral fast. Can't exactly disagree.
The world is garbage and full of garbage people. Even creatures like us have evil overlords who want to control us.
Coolio. At least we're the same in that aspect. She pauses for a moment, and then she grins. It's a bit unnerving, if not slightly arousing. Though the court is no match for our Laurel, I'm pretty sure they've been plotting their downfall for decades. Cool. From the little interaction I've had with Laurel, I think to myself that they'll probably succeed. You know, talking to you is quite literally the most exciting thing that's ever happened to me.
I should think so too. I'm wonderful.
I know. I huff a laugh, nodding in agreement, and then a weird, stagnant silence falls between us. I feel like I need to broach the subject of her maybe possibly doing me a solid and turning me, but I'm hesitant to break this weird, strangely uncomfortable raptor we seem to have going on, where she doesn't really look like she wants to kill me anymore. Valeria is staring at me, her brain clearly working hard to try to figure me out. And I hate how much of an open book I probably am.
You know, siring someone is not a thing our kind takes lightly.
What is that? And my traitorous human heart and brain is no match for her. She continues, stepping closer.
It's a commitment that no mortal could ever fathom. Something more permanent and intimate than any futile bonds made during a human's lifetime. You're tethered for the rest of your immortal life, for eternity, unless one of you turns to ash. Despite the distance between my sire and I'm still all too aware of his existence.
Sounds like it was a bad parting of ways. I watch her expression shift, a subtle change that looks almost human. Her sharp, otherworldly beauty softening for the briefest of moments, where she's back to being cold and perfectly collected. There's something almost soft and vulnerable about her. Under all that bravado and snapping teeth, it's nice.
I was turned against my will, as most of us often are, and a person like me doesn't do well with being betrayed. I was rich and beautiful and free. And I fell in love with a man that I believed would join me in that freedom.
Was it? Oh no.
I believed that we were the perfect match.
And then Valeria glares at me, and I decide to dial down my curiosity. I'm trying to get lucky here, not straight up murdered.
And then that bastard goes and kills me on our fucking wedding night.
Wow. Wow. He was a vampire then, and he turned you. That was the against the will, okay. Oh my gosh, it's like I'm back to Elias. She bares her slender throat with the tip of her. I'm so upset. Who would do that to someone like this? I hate when they, like, Elias, beautiful, plump individual, murdered before he was ever able to get married, and then this one. I hate it. I hate it so much. She bares us in the throat with the tip of her head, and a sly smile before grabbing my wrist and yanking me closer. It's a bit late to play coy. You can touch. It's invisible to the naked eye. When she guides my hand to her neck and I carefully run my fingers over her cool skin, I feel the raised, long-healed scar. What? I can't help but shudder. Whoa. teeth, sharp and unforgiving. The scar is messy. Oh my gosh. And deep and clearly. Her sire showed her little mercy in her final moments of mortality.
He loved me, and I loved him. Even after what he did. But I could never forgive him for taking that choice away from me. For not even giving me one in the first place.
Yeah, it would have been nice. I mean, I'm getting a choice. Well, not really. I have to appease them. She releases me and lets her hair fall back over her shoulder.
The years all begin to bleed into one eventually. You watch your family die, all while you remain unmoored, just existing somewhere in between. You prepared for that. To watch your loved ones wither and die. To be tethered to me for the rest of time.
Do I even have loved ones in this game? Her smirk is devilish. I'm having second thoughts. What? We're doing this. Did we succeed? My heart is a hammer in my chest, ready to quite literally burst out of my ribcage, alien style. Is this really happening? I'm so ready. I've never been more ready for anything in my life. You know, I'm impressed. I can't detect even an ounce of hesitation on you. She grabs my chin again, tightly, leaning in to run her nose along the edge of my jaw. I shudder from head to toe.
Before they die, humans tend to reek of fear and dread.
Cool.
Oh, it's exhilarating. But you...
When she pulls away, just enough for her to make sure I can look deep into her eyes, she bites on her bottom lip.
You smell like excitement. It's the most delicate, intoxicating ambrosia. I can't wait to taste you.
Cool. My breath hitches and I nod slowly but with great enthusiasm, trying to telegraph that I'm incredibly stoked right now, without having to use my brain to form a coherent sentence. My heart does something weird in my chest again, an inverted beat. All of my blood rushing the wrong way as I try to focus on the sight of Valeria moving towards me with greater intent, and that hungry look in her eyes.
Oh.
She laughs, tutting quietly.
Oh, don't be afraid, little bird.
I'm not scared.
I'll take good care of you.
I'm not scared. No balls. Stupid of me to forget she can hear the way the organ is, literally trying to pound its way out of my body. Ribcage ready to split open and let everything vital pour out into her nice silk bed sheets. I bet they cost a lot of money. I bet they do. She tilts her head, a sharp smile cutting her perfect face in two as she reaches out and curls cold fingers around my wrist. She feels the bumps of my veins and the delicate bones with the pad of her thumb. And I think it might be the horniest thing I've ever experienced.
I promise to make you feel good first.
First. First?
Well, yes.
Question mark.
Before the whole killing you part.
Yeah. Shit. Right. That. Killing me then bring me back as your favorite no immortal partner? She snickers and boosts me on the nose with a fingertip. Cute. You're cute. That's not exactly an answer, but okay. Well, I guess there's no going back now. I'm just glad I'm going out this way. And if she refrains from fully murdering me, we'll have a nice experience to look back on together.
Your heart is beating so fast, like a little rabbit. It's so noisy.
You like that, right? She brings my wrist to her mouth, brushing her lips over my pulse point. I can see the white of her fangs, the threat of them making my toes curl. And then she licks a wet stripe along my skin, stopping at the heel of my hand to apparently savor the taste. You taste sweet like honey. I'm convinced people are faking when they say honey is sweet because it's not. Is that a good thing? Her answering laugh makes me flinch, and she's quick to grab my other wrist as she settles over me. Her thighs astride my waist? I don't know. She's petite in stature, but there's nothing small about Valeria as she looms, filling the room with an almost oppressive presence. even when standing beside a physical giant like Elias or someone like Laurel who can cut you to the core with just a look. Her dress rides up her legs as she shifts on top of me, already leaving little to the imagination. But the way the fabric pulls at this curve of her hips makes my mouth water. Bro. I'd reach out and touch her if she wasn't pinning my wrist above my head. But then I can't exactly bring myself to be mad about that. Stay? Anything. I nod. I have no interest in disobeying her.
Now, tell me what you want, kitten. Use your imagination.
Whoa. This imagination of mine is quite unique. The options. I want to spice it up, cuff me. Just make me like you, please. That's like the worst option you could ever pick. I want that one. I feel like I could fight God and win right now, so... I pointedly look at the handcuffs and Valeria follows my gaze. Do you really want to play? Yes. I love games. Clearly. I nod. I do. Do you? Very well. Valeria releases my hands, but I keep them exactly where she placed them as she leans over and retrieves both the handcuffs and a sliver of black silk. She holds them both up in the air and looks somewhat triumphant. Both? Of course. Just the cuffs, I want to see you. No. No. Yes, both please. Thank you. She takes hold of my wrist first and closes the cold metal around them. The click of the locks feel like the final nail in my coffin.
Oh, it's been a while since I've been with a human. You're all warm and fragile.
Thank you.
It would take so little to break you.
Break? She laughs again, a more condescending noise this time. Her dark hair falling over her shoulder as she leans closer, our noses brush. Now, close your eyes. I gotta breathe, so. I obey, and the cold silk of the fabric is placed over my eyes. I'm suddenly hyper aware of every touch it bestows upon me. My other senses sharpened to knife's edge. Let's get you out of these pesky clothes, shall we? Totally. Bro, we get it. I can feel her hair tickling my throat when she leans in, a commanding palm. Its blade flat against the center of my chest. It's a wordless command to stay down. Like, I could even think about moving when she has me like this. Do you miss looking at me? Miss touching me? No. I groan as she leans in and nips at the soft flesh of my throat, the vague promise of Fang driving me crazy. I've always been into the idea of being bitten by a vampire, in theory, but that was when I thought they were nothing more than a figment of the population's imagination, something that lived only on pages or movies and TV screens. Knowing that they're real and having one directly above me, tending to fadoodle me and bite me is a whole of the story. I'm about to say something else. Those fakers could never hold a candle to the real thing.
Such a lovely specimen.
I wonder what you'll taste like. Berries and cream. Yeah. The clever fingers walk down the abdomen. Yeah. At an agonizingly slow pace, finally setting between my thighs. And I swear I see God. Or maybe the devil. When she finally touches me where I need it the most. I try to catch my breath between the not-so-gentle waves of pleasure as we move together. Valeria intermediately whispering filth in my ear, that she intends to kill me with dirty talk instead of fangs. If only you could see yourself all wrapped up like a present. Nice. Her voice wraps around my throat, filling my lungs like smoke. I nod mutely. past the point of coherency, of making any sense whatsoever. Every part of me is lit up and turned on. My blood rushing fast and hot, and there's a distant feeling rising from the darkest depths of my stomach. It curls at the base of my spine and squeezes. And I know my time has come. I'm not saying the rest of that. But I push her thumb into my mouth while I'm choking on the remainder of my sentence.
Don't be cliche, kitten. You don't need to say it. I can smell it on you. I can taste it.
They can taste organisms. What? I'm impressed that you lasted this long. I make a weird noise that I hope I don't remember later. If I even have a later. It bodes well for me that my feeble human stamina impresses you. She laughs and the sound makes my toes curl, her eyes dark and reverent, and swallowing me whole. Like she knows exactly when I'm about to fall over the precipice I've been desperately clinging to. She leans in and presses her lips to mine, hard enough to brand the shape of against my skin. Ooh. I let go and I'm free falling. Let's not read the first part. Valeria swallowing the sounds, even making some of her own, and then she has her fangs in my throat. Nice. As the sharp points of her teeth pierce my flesh, I feel a white-hot burst of pain, the kind you get if you curl your fingers around a scalding pan straight out the oven, but then it's gone. It hurts, still, but the pain bleeds into something verging on pleasure. It spreads throughout me, warm and tingly, not much unlike the feeling I've just experienced. A furrow... Ugh, I'm hearing like... I furrow my brow and tried my hardest to stay lucid as she drinks. The noise she makes are sensual, little whimpers and groans muffled by the thick glut of blood that slides down her throat. I still have the brain power to decide that it's the hottest thing I've ever experienced, and I just... fadoodle the vampire. Valeria shudders and pulls back. Shuddles? No, she shudders. I don't know why I said that. And she yanks the blindfold off my face, and what I see makes me wonder if I'm already dead. If I'm in a really messed up version of vampire heaven. Wee. Huge knockers. Badonkers, even. Let's get a good look. Mission accomplished, everybody. Her eyes are wide and glittering as the line of blood, my blood, trickles down her chin. Fuck. Oh. She presses her fingers through her skin to stem the trail, catching liquid before messily pushing as much of it into her mouth as she can. She sucks her digits clean.
Like cherries. Ripe ones.
Really?
Better than I anticipated.
Coolio. She licks the red from her teeth and smirks down at me. And my dying heart stutters in my chest. Now time for dessert. Eat up. She bites into her wrist. Two perfect punctured wounds that drip a deep. Whoops. Dark red. The most perfect little beads surfacing on her pale skin. She presses it into my mouth, and the taste of copper burns against my tongue. It's cold. Instinctively, I drink until she pulls away, apparently satisfied.
Good night, little bird. See you on the other side.
Nighty night. I feel her brush over my eyes, her touch feathered light. Yeah. Everything goes dark again. And you die. The tingling in my limbs gets stronger. Death feels a lot nicer than I anticipated. In fairness, I just did that, so I'd say it was pretty good curtain call. I know how this goes. I've spent enough time writing this shit online. Dizziness, nausea, blood vessels constricting as the body tries to compensate for its losses. But this is difficult. This is different. Almost a difficult. Maybe it was the blood that Valeria fed me, like some kind of morbid vampire ibuprofen? Yes. Take 2 on a full stomach before dying and wake up eternally hot. She's still touching me, her cool fingers tracing the shape of my lips and brushing over my eyelashes where they fan against my cheeks. I wonder if she's helping me through it. It's intimate. It feels like the start of something. The pain begins to reach a fever pitch as my body readies itself for the transformation. But Valeria's lips are at my ear before I lose consciousness, her voice breathy and sweet, gentle in a way it wasn't before.
I can't wait to see what kind of monster you'll become.
A cool one. I feel a strange sense of peace through the pain as it peaks and tampers into numbness, and I let go, let myself fade away. See you on the other side. Wink. Pop for a rebound! Am I gonna have a birthday like last time? It's the same feeling, the prelude to waking up. It's 5 minutes before your alarm goes off, when you know you're about to enter the waking world, but the desperation to stay asleep claws at you. My fingers begin to twitch and I blink as if I'm stuck, anchored to the land of dreams. Hazy memory drift to the forefront of my mind. Then, perfect clarity. Everything. I remember it all. From entering the house, to meeting the vampires, to the interview. To Valeria's bedroom. Yeah. And finally, to the return. Oh, to the turning. Yeah. Whoops. I'm still in Valeria's bed, my eyes still closed, my senses slowly returning. I can smell her all around me. Laurel and sweet and sharp. How do you smell sharp? Like, huh? As well as my nose feeling superpowered, my ears are fine-tuned too. Well, everything. I can hear the skittering of animals outside, the gentle clatter of humans down the street. And then I realized that there's also a couple of things I can no longer feel, once vital things. The most vital of all, my heart, is dead. I'm hyper aware of it in my chest, and it feels heavy despite its dormancy. A gentle reminder of my new state of being, I suppose. There's also a distinct coolness to me, from my bones to my skin, though it isn't the same as being caught in the snow and left to thaw. It's just a strange, prickling awareness. All things considered, this feels like a peaceful sort of awakening. There might be a distant memory of pain and screaming, of my body dying and rebuilding itself, while I was stuck somewhere in between. But it doesn't haunt me. Maybe it's tucked away for keeps. I take a moment to embrace it all. And then I feel a finger poking at my cheek. Hey. I hear a quiet, dirty laugh, and I'm suddenly all too aware of my body beside me. Of a body beside me. Valeria. She's lying flush against me, her body temperature now feeling strangely normal, if not a little warmer than my own. I suppose that, technically, I'm a freshly risen corpse. Cool.
Wake up, sleepyhead.
Cool. I'm awake. I groggily open my eyes when I hear her voice. My eyelids feel heavy. My head is throbbing, like I'm suffering through the worst hangover in the history of everything. The sight of Valeria soothes away the ache. Yeah, H key's being pressed. Leaning over, she presses her crimson lips to my ear. Her voice dripped low. Oh, dipped low. Oops. I don't know why I said that. Good night, and happy death day. Night? How long was I out for?
You died, little bird. It takes time for the body to recover from that.
Cool. You're out for about 3 days, give or take. Not bad. I've seen some take up to a week to turn fully. As I shift under the covers, I focus my attention on my arms, more specifically, that they're crossed over my chest like a poor smile. What? For a smile? I don't know. Of those dramatized movie vamps, she scoffs at. I roll my eyes at her, trying desperately not to smile. Really?
Ugh, you're the one so enamored with all those silly little vampire tales, kitten. Besides, I was bored. Had to entertain myself somehow.
It was nice that she did this though. You know, considering the fact that I'm crazy for vampires. It's nice that she did it. It's like a little cute thingy. I liked it. Her pout shifts into a smirk. I pause for a moment to take her in, where she lodges beside me. And if they were still able to, I think my cheeks would be heating. The incredible flimsy lingerie. I don't know why I was about to say lingerie. I know how to say this word. That she's wearing leaves little to the imagination, and for that I am incredibly thankful. It even has sparkles. I like it. Yes, it's very nice touch. It feels like I'm seeing her for the first time in high definition. She's even more beautiful than my feeble human eyes could possibly ever comprehend. There's a glass of red wine. Oh, it's a glass of red wine, expensive and old. My new nose tells me. And in one hand, and the other clutches an indecent looking novel titled First Bite. That's out of the game. The cover is adorned with a particularly lewd illustration of a vampire chowing down on a half-naked human who looks a little too pleased about it. That's us. I can relate. Yeah. A vampire romance novel. Is it good? You're absolutely not in the position to judge me.
Did dying make you forget that you write cryptid erotica, sweet thing?
Wait, I didn't? No, actually. Fair point. Can I at least see the synopsis?
Ugh.
Can't have my sire reading subpar smut. I move my hand to reach for the book, and I see that my other dark clothes have been replaced by a black silk robe. Nice. Nice. It even has a fluffy sleeves. Double nice. Before I can question if Valeria speaks. Looks adorable on you. Thank you. I stare at her for a hot minute before I remember her tricky little mindfuckery powers. Thanks, I think. You're incredibly welcome. Now, do you feel up to taking your new body for a spin? Close your eyes, baby fangs. Nah. I nod and oblige without hesitation.
Illy, Laurel, enter.
Enter. In more ways than one.
Huh?
Open. You're next, buddy. You're next in the chopping block. Laurel and Elias stand in front of me, and if I had to guess, they were probably lurking outside and doing some very casual vampire eavesdropping. They could have heard me from outside. Doesn't matter. Valeria asks us to assist you with gently easing you into the fold. What Laurel said. So what does that entail exactly? Valeria sets aside her book and the glass of wine and stands to join the other two.
We planned a little surprise for you.
Super cool, like last time. I love surprises. The three of them grin at me, sharp teeth on display. It's decidedly unnerving. I narrow my eyes at them, feeling less enthusiastic suddenly. Please don't bring in a human for me to suck on.
Oh, cool it, baby fangs. It's nothing like that. Yet.
It's your very first day as a vampire, and Valeria nods to both Elias and Laurel. And all three of them pull something out from behind their backs and place it on their heads. It's a party hat again. Party hats with rainbows. They're also wholly colorful party poppers. This is the best birthday ever. Well, death day, but let's not dwell. If my heart could beat, I think it would be pounding double time. The fact that they did this for me, that they all look so happy. Oh my gosh. It feels like I'm really part of their family. Like, they're proud of me. It would be nice to get this in real life, you know? I really hope vampires don't cry blood. Why would they cry blood? Are you dumb? I guess I'm about to find out.
Happy birthday!
Thank you, oh my god. Oh, after our little celebration, Valeria escorts Laurel and Elias out of the room to give me a moment to compose myself. I walk around trying to get used to driving this hot new immortal body. I stare down at my palms, my skin flawless, if not a little pastier than its usual hue. I poke my fangs with my tongue, feeling a newly sharpened points. Alright, that's probably why it took 3 days. Gotta grow those, you know? Valeria said they'd get bigger in time, and she seems to find great pleasure in calling me baby fangs. I dig it. I'm actually a vampire, a real-life, blood-sucking fiend. Dracula and I are practically the same. Ish. Saying the words out loud makes me feel real. Makes it feel real. And I know what I want to do next. Thinking of Elias, Valeria, and Laurel standing together, it hits me that my entire life has changed in ways I couldn't possibly fathom. Everything I thought I knew, all the things I held dear, all of that's behind me now. And yet, the thought is strangely appealing. My stomach flutters and my chest tightens. But the tears that spring to my eyes don't feel like any sort of grief at all. It feels like a new beginning, and just maybe, belonging. Those Van Helsing types, am I right? Valeria raised an accusatory brow at me, but she's quick to shake her head and smirk when I wink at her. Can't believe there really are vampire hunters though. Next you'll tell me that Mothman is real. Oh yeah, we know this, yeah. I guess Valeria's probably gonna say something different. Or not. Skip button is now available?
Well.
You're next. Don't forget it. Let me see. Wait. Yeah, we did it. And congratulations, Nathan. Thank you. Oh my god. Jeez, don't be nice. That was Valeria's route in First Bite. Amazing, of course. Did I think anything less? No. But of course, Laurel's gonna be next. I can't wait to see what happens, you know? If you guys enjoyed it, you know what to do. Leave the video a like, you know? Be kind to it. And of course, subscribe for more. Because you want to see Laurel, right? Yeah. Gotta turn on that bell too, so you know exactly what happens. And with that being said, I will see you guys next time.